Here it is. You guys asked for an endgame guide, and I delivered.
I'm a delivery boy.
Now there is going to be some spoilers, but that's the whole point of an explanation video. So give the video a like if it helps, and let's begin. Before getting to the mechanics, you have to understand that story doesn't end with low rank. Story continues in high rank, and you're going to be gate kept from unlocking more stuff until you both hunt monsters to increase your hunter rank, and 2, do the quests and side quests in HR. So for example, at HR 40, that is when you're able to fight Gore for the first time, but you need to be doing story quests to get to that point. Luckily, it's easy. Just open your map and look for these icons, and that indicates if it's a story or a side quest. I believe the red ones are the important stuff that will increase your HR, while the yellow is mostly side quest. And if you're new to the series, high rank is like New Game Plus effectively. Monsters are going to be harder with more HP and damage, but the upside is you can attain better weapons and gear from hunting them. And both the armor and weapons will generally have more deco slots. High rank has a whole new armor version compared to low rank, usually with an alpha and beta version, with the beta losing some skills but gaining more slots, and are generally better because of that. Hence, I recommended not farming too much in low rank in my progress video because your low rank armor is now useless. Now as far as rarity, in high rank the highest rarity is rarity 8, at launch at least, but at the start of high rank you're only going to have like rarity 4 to 6 stuff until you progress and hunt more and raise your HR, hunter rank. Now I don't remember exactly when, but around HR 10 is when you unlock rarity 5 stuff, HR 20 is rarity 6 stuff, and HR 30 should be rarity 7 and 8 unlocks. Certainly by the time you reach HR 40 is when you're going to unlock everything. I think after 40 is when you get rarity 8 weapons. But from there is no further unlocks, aside from one thing I'll talk about later. One last thing about armor is that in high rank, any armor you do craft will automatically let you have the layered version of that armor to put on your character. So go to the camp and then equipment appearance, and here you can alter your armor to look like something you're not actually wearing, and even change the pigment too, which is cool. And lastly, you can save layers as a loadout to swap the look of your character, which is really nice. But next, investigations are random quests that pop up with various rewards depending on RNG, and the threat level of that investigation shown by how many stars they have. You can get a level 3 Hirobami investigation, or a level 5, and a level 5 will be harder but have better rewards, usually. And there is no real trigger method like in World. There is no track farming, so you can just literally stay in camp and just get quests automatically. What's sick though is that you can save up to 50 investigations, so if you see a cool hunt that you want to farm later, just save it. And if you want to delete some, you have to go to the investigations tab and press triangle and delete them. But any monster you fight in the world without saving it will be added to the field survey history pool, which remembers the last 16 monsters you fought. In case you forgot to save them, you can save them here at the cost of some points. And sometimes investigations can spawn with gems as a guaranteed reward. So those are definitely worth saving, and each investigation has about 3 to 4 uses each, so that's 3 to 4 gems, baby. Cha-ching! Now in high rank there are 2 further forms of monsters, Tempered and Frenzy. Frenzy is pretty much useless for the most part, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it. You get Frenzy shards from those, and those shards are basically just for melding or for some armors, I guess. But the other is Tempered monsters, which I don't know if they have more health, but they definitely hit harder, and wounds will open up less often on them. Instead, sometimes a blue wound will pop up, and breaking that not only gets you the normal benefit of a wound, but also knocks them down guaranteed. So you only want to break these when they're not on the ground, otherwise you're going to waste a free trip. But the main reward for investigations is decorations. Decorations are used in the slots in your armor and weapons. They go from tier 1 to tier 3, with the better skills being locked to tier 3. However, for weapons, it is possible to get a level 3 version of a level 1 skill, which just means you get 3 levels worth in one deco. And if you're lucky, there's also hybrid jewels, which will be a level 3 version of a skill and an extra level 1 of a random skill. So something like level 3 ice and a level 1 crit element. But some skills like attack level 3 do not have hybrids. You can only get a level 1 attack with another level 3 skill, but not vice versa. At least so far from what I've found. But each deco and investigation rewards will have a rarity and a little icon. The helmet meaning that deco will be an armor deco, and the sword being a weapon deco. So if you need weapon decos, just look for the swords and vice versa for the armor. Decos can go up to rarity 6, which are usually only gotten from the Apexes, Gore, and Arkfeld. For now. I assume Mizu and future title update monsters will be at least rarity 6 too. And last two tips for investigations is that you can just rest and reshuffle the entire list of available quests. Resting does cost points, but you get so much points at endgame that it's irrelevant, so do this if nothing suits your fancy in the current environment, useful if you're hunting for gems or tempered monsters. And second is occasionally you'll get a high value dual hunt investigation, and these are great for farming a ton of decos, especially if they include an apex or higher monster, making all the decos become rarity 6. And this is also great for farming materials to meld into ore as well, which are these icons, but temper monsters specifically have an extra reward, which are weapon fragments, and these are used to craft Artian weapons, the new weapon system in the endgame. TLDR is only farm the red ones. Rarity 6 and 7 Artie weapons are not worth crafting at all. However, these hunts are still important to do as they will reward hunter symbol tickets, and you need these to craft weapons, armor, and more importantly, talismans, charms. Now, if you're watching this, you probably won't have all these options unlocked yet, but eventually you will. But the good charms for things like weakness exploit or burst and such are level 3 skills, and they need hunter symbols to upgrade into the final tier. These level 3 skills can only be upgraded once via the options here, so level 2x is the highest you can upgrade to, but something like Stamina Surge, which is a lower tier skill, can be upgraded all the way to level 3. And again, you need those hunter symbols. Level 1 is 5-star tempered quest, level 2 is from 6-star, and level 3 is gotten from level 7 to 8-star quest. But back to Artians. Artian weapons are pretty simple. You farm 7 to 8-star tempered monsters for red parts, and these parts come in certain forms like blade, device, tube, etc., and are locked to certain weapons. This will take a while to craft your first Artian weapon for your specific weapon, but eventually you'll have enough, and there's 3 parts with elements and status effects, and you have a choice between +5 attack or +5 affinity each. And melee weapons always come with white sharpness. Basically, you want 3 of the same elements to boost said element as much as you can. If you only have 2 parts of ice and then add water, your ice will not go up. But if you add a 3rd ice, your element will go up, so always just use 3 of the same element. And every Artian level 8 comes with 3 level 3 slots, making them pretty much the best weapons in the game in most scenarios. Now, getting specific pieces is kind of tough and annoying, so to help, go to Suja Village and talk to this melding lady here. Here you can meld decos, which I don't recommend doing early on, but you'll eventually lock all the rarity decos to meld as RNG Gamba, but for the material you have to sacrifice decos you have, and they're pretty expensive with level 1 decos being utterly worthless, so you kind of have to sacrifice your level 3 decos, which is probably not a good idea. However, you can craft level 1 specific decos in this option, which is great for getting something like Quick Sheath, Divine Blessing, Constitution, etc. But after HR 100, you can craft level 2 specific decos. It's not that good for weapons since you want those level 3 decos for weapons, but for armor it's pretty good. Stuff like Maximum Might, Stamina Surge, etc. Just don't expect to meld level 3 decos anytime soon. We're likely going to get that in the expansion. But instead of Iceborne, it's going to be called Dustborne because this game's dusty. But you can also meld Artian parts, and I think after HR 50 or 100, you can meld specific devices. Otherwise, you have to go with the RNG, which I don't recommend. Just save your mats till you reach this point. But the material to smelt down is Wyverian stones and Artian parts. For the most part, Wyvern stones are the main thing you'll break down, which are gotten from beating tempered monsters, getting extra from wound breaking, making my vampire build video a must watch. So if you need blade devices, just chunk a bunch of those bloodstones in them and bam! Now you got blade devices, got more fire, ice, dragon, etc. You're locked and loaded. So after you make the base of the Artian weapon, now it's time to upgrade. You can reinforce them 5 times and they will gain 5 random stats shown on this screen here. So this is where the RNG comes into play. And it's basically the endgame farm trying to make the perfect Artian weapon for your build. But to upgrade, you need ore. And to get ore, you need to go to the oil well basin and talk to this guy. The guy who's definitely banging Maki. Here you can make armor spheres, but avoid making the red one. It's extremely expensive and not really worth it, so I don't bother. But you can make lesser ones if you really need to upgrade your armor. But we're here for the ore, specifically ore calcite. So smelt those parts you farmed up, especially with my vampire build. But it takes 10 ore calcite to upgrade an Artian by 1 level, so you need 50 ore calcite to max out a weapon. But you don't actually want to do this, you want to go to 49, then tick some of the lesser materials 1 and 1, and you max it out, saving you a little bit of ore. And then from there, you pray to RNG to get good rolls. If not, you can dismantle the Artian weapon, which will refund all your ore back to you. But you will lose the initial parts you used to craft the base, so all the elemental part thingies. So from there, just recraft triple element and try again. Ideally, you get 2 to 3 elemental boost, and then for melee, at least 1 to 2 sharpness modifiers. Getting affinity or attack is pretty crap in comparison, so if you only get like 1 elemental boost, I would just start over. But once perfected, these should beat out every other Ellie weapon in the game, with very few exceptions. One more thing in high rank is occasionally each region will have someone that offers a meal to you, which gives you the best buffs in the game, for which we can't see what the meal effects do for some reason. Hopefully they fix that. But do note that sometimes you're going to see this meal icon and you're going to go to the location expecting a meal, but the person that would give you the meal is going to be either somewhere else or literally sleeping. So what the hell? They need to fix that too. I get it, Capcom. You want this to be realistic and stuff and pretend these people have lives, but it's a game. If I see an icon for a meal, I'm expecting a meal. We hungry. So that's basically all you need to know about Endgame. Hope you guys find it useful. Give the video a like. The more likes, the more videos. You guys reach 500 likes on my vampire build, lol. So yeah, final min-max longsword build soon. Question for the video is, which endgame do you prefer? Wilds or world? Elders or normal monsters? Let me know, and if you don't want to miss any more videos like this and builds, subscribe for more wilds epicness.